All right. Hello, everybody. Happy afternoon. Welcome to Mat Pilates. For those of you who are new, welcome. My name is Rachel Peters. I'm a physical therapist at Agile headquarters in Palo Alto, California. For those of you who are joining me again, thank you so much for coming back. We've got a lot of our regular activities today, maybe a couple of new things to play around with. As always, you're going to want your exercise mat. We'll lay it out horizontally along facing your screen. And if you'd like, sometimes having a little towel to get a little cushion for your knees for our hands and knees sequence, and maybe a small cushion or a soft footstool to sit on when we do some cross-legged work. Sitting on our bottoms might be helpful if you have trouble sitting cross-legged on the floor. So without further ado, let's get started. We'll go ahead. Mats. We're going to stand centered on our mats. Feet are going to be shoulder width apart. Let's go ahead and take a couple big breaths in, just placing our hands right on our midsections, right on the belly in front. We'll take a big breath in, letting your belly come forward into your hands. Then we'll exhale, drawing it back towards your spine. One more big breath in that way. Inhale, belly comes forward to your hands. Exhale, draw that belly back. We'll bring our arms down. Now we'll take a big breath in. Big breath out, arms come down by our sides. Big breath in, arms come up. We'll clasp those palms, reaching them all the way to the ceiling, and then let's drop those blades down to the floor. We'll take a tall side bend. We're going to reach over to where the wall and the ceiling meet. We'll lift up, keeping those rib cages lifted up off of the pelvis. We'll exhale over to the other side. Inhale up, exhale to the corner. Inhale up tall, and exhale over to the other corner. Let's inhale one more time, bringing those hands to the ceiling. We'll bring them down by our sides and roll those shoulders back a few times, just working on any crunchies that might be there from activities we did or didn't do earlier on in the day. Let's go ahead and line our feet underneath our sit bones now. So they're right in line with our hips. Toes are going to point forward if we can now. Let's lift those toes up. We're going to rise up onto our heels and just behind the ball of the foot. Toes are up. We're going to spread our toes apart, take them down one at a time, leading with that pinky toe. Pinky comes down, the fourth toe, the third toe, the second toe, and that first toe. Let's go ahead and go through that sequence a few more times. Toes lift up. We'll take them one at a time down from the outside in. It's almost like if you were drumming your fingertips on a countertop. See if you can get the sensation that you're drumming those toes onto your mat, warming up all those small little muscles within your feet that help keep you balanced up and standing. All right, we'll take that big toe to the floor. Let's soften up our knees a bit. We're going to take our hands right to the midsection of the body, and we're going to shift our weight as one unit from the toe over the toes and back over the heels. Shift the weight over the toes, shift the weight back to the heels. And if you pay attention to what's going on under your fingertips, if you press in gently, you might feel some muscles tightening and maybe releasing at different points in that range. As we hit the back and the front, those far end points where you can keep your feet on the floor, but barely, you'll feel your core kick in at those ends to stabilize you. Let's take our weight right back to the center, right over the front of that ankle joint, and we're going to gently push the floor away with our feet, shifting the weight from one side to the other. And as we shift, let's take the web space between our thumbs and that first finger, place it around our waist. So the fingertips are pointing in front, those index finger and middle finger, and that thumb is pushing gently into your waistline in the back. And as you shift from foot to foot, you'll feel those muscles wake up in your core. Let's keep that motion going. Now we're going to bend the knees just a little tiny bit, sticking the tailbone back behind us. We're hinging from the hips a little, and we're going to shift the weight side to side again. You'll still feel those core muscles working, but now you might feel a little bit of work being done in your glutes. This is all without you really having to overthink anything. Those muscles are there for you. We're just prepping them to work hard for us later on in class. Let's take our weight right over the center, right over both ankle joints. We'll come up nice and tall, and now we're going to move our weight in circles around that base of support. You'll feel those muscles in your trunk turn on and turn off as you take those clockwise or counterclockwise circles. Let's go the other direction. The body's moving as one unit. Those hips are staying nice and open, so your trunk is right over that pelvis. All right, last circle here. We'll take ourselves right over those ankle joints. Hands come down, soften up those knees a little bit, shake them out, and we're going to move toward the back edge of our mat. All right, so we're vertically oriented on our mat. I'll look over to the side and explain what we're doing as we go if there's something that's different for you. Those toes are going to be pointed straight ahead. Your feet are parallel to each other. We're going to take our hands right to where your upper thighs fold into your pelvis, right at the front of those hip joints. From there, with soft knees, we're going to send the tailbone back and the crown of the head forward, just to the point of feeling that first little barrier from the knees to the sit bones. A little stretch there. From here, instead of bending and straightening the knees as we sometimes do in class, we're going to squeeze those glutes, bring that trunk upright as one unit. Hands come to the hips. Exhale, we're going to hinge down, find that barrier. Maybe it's 45 degrees, maybe it's 90 degrees. We'll squeeze those glutes, come up nice and tall. We're going to do that 3 more times here. Exhale, tailbone back, crown of the head forward. Inhale at the bottom. Exhale, squeeze and come back upright. Exhale, hinge, crown of the head forward, tailbone back. Inhale at the bottom. Exhale, squeeze those glutes, bring your trunk up nice and tall. Last time, exhale, hinge, crown of the head forward, tailbone back. Pause at that barrier, and we're going to hold ourselves at that barrier now. Breathing in and out quietly. Let's think about gently drawing the belly back toward the spine, and we're going to wiggle those knees a little bit. Get into that stretch point for the back of the thighs. We're going to straighten and bend those knees just a small bit, just until you feel a little bit of length from those sit bones all the way to the back of the knees. All right, we're going to find our barrier again, hold it there. Let's take a big breath in. On that exhale, we'll bend those knees just a slight bit more, sticking that tailbone back behind the body. And we're going to reach one arm out in front of us and the opposite arm back behind. Let's go ahead and switch them up. Maybe we turn our heads away from that arm that's reaching in front of us. Switch it up. Find a breathing pattern that's working for you. We'll switch. The main thing here is to keep breathing and keep your breathing regular. Let's switch one more time to each. Look and reach. We'll look down towards your mat. Both hands come back behind the body for a big breath in. And on the exhale, we're going to hold ourselves down to the mat. We're going to walk ourselves down to a downward dog or inverted V position. If you're not comfortable with that, you're welcome to come right down to hands and knees and meet us there. If we're in that down dog, that belly's going to draw towards your spine. We're going to pedal our feet out a little bit, getting a little bit of length to our calf muscles. The elbows and ears are lined up with each other here. And those shoulder blades are gently dropping down towards your hips and also pressing toward the floor a bit. Let's drop both heels down to the floor. We'll take a big breath in here. On that exhale, we're going to move forward to plank and meet our friends who might already be there on hands and knees. We'll take those knees down to the floor, wrists and shoulders lined up, knees and hips lined up. And we're going to move through a few cats and cows or cats and camels, depending on this motion. Physical therapy or 3. We'll curl up, looking down toward that belly button. Inhale. On the exhale, that tailbone comes toward the ceiling and the breastbone comes toward the room in front of us, reversing our curve. Let's go back and forth between those 2 positions at your own speed through a range of motion that's working for you. A range that feels nice and smooth, doesn't cause any sharp pulling sensations, sharp twinges. One more time here. Let's curl it up. We'll arch it down, breastbone forward. Come right back to neutral and we'll bag our tails side to side, hip to shoulder. A couple more times each. Just working the kinks from the day out. Take ourselves back to the center. Knees come apart, feet come together. Bottom comes down towards your heels. And we're going to walk our hands toward the front of your mat, dropping that forehead toward the floor for a big breath in and a big breath out. Let's take those forearms and rest them down to the floor. Elbows can bend a bit. We're going to shift the weight forward toward our forearms and take those legs back behind the body till we're resting on our upper thighs. We want to drop those shoulder blades, squeeze them together behind the back, and then drawing that belly up toward the spine, we're going to press our blades toward the floor. Squeeze them together, press them apart. Little mini shoulder blade push-ups to warm up those muscles that help us keep nice and still when we're bearing our weight on our arms. Squeeze and press. Last time, squeeze and press. We're going to hold that downward press with those shoulder blades and shift our weight from forearm to forearm, pushing the floor gently away from you with your arms. One more time to each side. Press, press. Coming back to the center, we'll take one big breath in here. And on that exhale, we're going to bring our upper bodies down to the mat, and we're going to roll onto our backs. Let's bring our arms by our sides. We'll bend those knees up, lining our heels up with our sit bones. Hips, knees, and feet are equal distance apart from each other. And we're going to flip our palms up so they face the ceiling, resting the backs of the hands on the floor. Let's take a few breaths here and sink into your position. See if you need to make any little adjustments with your back. It's okay to have a curve in your back. It doesn't have to be pulled flat. If you start with a curve, for the next few exercises, we're going to try to maintain that same curve as we move our bodies. Big breath in. On that exhale, drop your shoulder blades to the floor, letting your collarbones come wide and away from the center of the body. You're going to feel some muscles stretching potentially in the front of your chest, and potentially you'll feel some muscles working behind those armpits and shoulder blades. Let's take one more big breath in. On that exhale, your belly's going to gently drop back to your spine like you're tightening a little seatbelt of muscles between that pubic bone and your breastbone. Hold them there. We're going to picture our clock face on the pelvis. And now we are going to move our backs. We're going to tuck our pelvis. We're going to rotate our pelvis side to side and also move it up and down through some numbers that are on the face of a clock. We're going to take them to 12 o'clock up by the breastbone. We're going to take that pelvis to 6 o'clock down by the pubic bone. So we're going to take that pubic bone and shorten it up toward the breastbone, moving toward 12 o'clock, flattening the back. Pubic bone lengthens away from that breastbone, letting a little more arch coming into the spine as we go that direction. Let's go back and forth a couple more times, thinking about drawing your chin gently down towards your neck to keep the top of your head and your middle back nice and still. We'll bring ourselves right back to neutral, right in the middle with a little bit of that curve in the back. And now we're going to rock the pelvis from 3 o'clock, bringing one side down, the opposite side toward the ceiling, and then switch side to side from there. 3 o'clock to 9 o'clock. I'm keeping my legs still. If you need a little refresher on that plane of movement, it's the plane your pelvis moves through when your legs go side to side. We're just keeping our legs still and letting that pelvis do the work for us. One more time to 3 o'clock. One more time to 9 o'clock. We'll take ourselves right back to the middle. We're going to flip our palms so they face the floor. Nod that chin gently down towards your neck. We're going to float the back of the head up off the mat, maintaining that little chin nod. Keeping the chin nodded, we'll lower the head back down and release. Nod and lift, lower and release. Keeping that pattern going, nod and lift, lower and release. Try to draw the belly down toward the spine and maintain that position through that lower abdomen as we nod the chin. It's okay if you don't want to lift your head. You're welcome to focus just on the nod as we do a few more lifts here. Last time here, nod and lift, lower and release. We're going to take one knee up to 90 degrees, maintaining that belly to spine connection. And we're going to bring the other knee to meet it in tabletop. If you need a kickstand, if you need to have a foot down, that's okay. Whether our foot's down or up, we're in tabletop position, as if we're balancing something on our shins. We're going to take our hands to the front of the thighs and gently press the hands and the thighs toward each other until you feel some muscles working from your lower ribs all the way down to that pubic bone. Again, if you have a kickstand down, this time we'll just take both hands to one thigh. Inhale and exhale. Maybe we build on this one by straightening and bending our knees. Inhale as we straighten, exhale as we bend. Maybe we build on that by nodding the chin and lifting the head a bit. You pick the level that's working for you at this particular time of day. It might be easier or harder at another time of day. That's okay. We just have to respect that. Maybe we keep those knees straight. Maybe they bend a little bit. We're going to take our hands down by the floor, but hover those palms up off the mat. And from here, let's pat our hands up and down like we're bouncing little tiny basketballs. Inhale for 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Exhale, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Keep that pattern going. The main focus of this exercise, we're working the deep neck muscles in front, those lower abdominals, and we're working our breathing pattern. Inhale in 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Exhale. Breathe it in. 2, 3, 4, 5, and exhale. Maybe we challenge ourselves a bit more by taking those feet a little closer to the wall in front of us. Keep it going. If your head's down, you could still have those legs forward. That's okay too. Big breath in. 2, 3, 4, 5, in. Exhale. We'll keep that pattern going. Now we're going to flip our palms up, press the air to the ceiling, breathing in. Keep it going. Keep in mind your knees could be bent. One foot could be down for a kickstand. The head could be down. Both feet could be down on the floor as we breathe. We'll do one final. Inhale, 2, 3, 4, 5, in. Exhale, 2, 3, 4, 5. We're going to pause wherever you are. We're going to bring those knees into the chest, roll the upper body down if it's been up, and let's take those hands, pulling those knees into the chest, and we'll rock the body side to side. Good. Let's take it right back to the middle. We'll do a couple shoulder rolls back to anchor those blades into the floor. We're going to keep a hold of that leg that's farthest from your screen. We're going to pull it in the chest with a bent knee. That opposite leg will slide down along the mat. And let's gently oscillate that bent knee. We're going to pull it across the body just a little. Give it a little stretch. Feel that hip opening on the opposite side. We'll pull back to the center. Maybe we nod our chin, feeling those muscles working in the front of the throat. Hold it there or lift the head. And then we're going to build on this by lifting that straight leg up off the floor a bit. And we'll take it side to side. Paint a horizontal line on the wall in front of you, keeping everything else as still as possible. Out to the side, back in and across midline. Good. Let's make a few circles with that outstretched leg. Draw a circle on the wall in front of you. Keep it going. And let's circle the other direction. Here's 4, 3, 2, 1. Stretch it out straight. Let's switch our legs. We'll pull the opposite leg in. Stretch that other leg out in front of you. We'll drop that heel to the floor. Lower the upper body down, and let's pull that bent knee across the body the other direction. Oscillating a little bit, getting into that hip. Getting a little mobility. Maybe we get a little bit into the lower back, but we don't want to push this one too far. We'll take it right back to the middle. We nod that chin again. Maybe we build on that by lifting the head. And we hover that straight leg up off the floor and reach it toward the wall in front of us. Let's take that outstretched leg. We'll take it and paint its horizontal line on the wall in front of you. You could bring your hands to your hips if you're having trouble figuring out if you're moving your pelvis or not. Those hands can help you monitor. Let's move that straight leg into some circles. Draw those circles on the wall in front of you. Let's switch directions. Let's circle the other way for 4, 3, 2, 1. Stretch that leg straight out in front. And again, whether your head's down or whether it's up, we're going to build on this position and move a little quicker. We're going to pull that other knee in, press that bent leg straight, and switch it up. Move through at your own speed. Pull and press, pull and press. The head could be down. Those knees could both be bent. We're moving deliberately, we're breathing, and that belly is drawn down toward the spine. One more time on each. We're going to pull both knees into the chest, roll the upper body down if it's been up, and then holding it there, we're going to keep a hold of that near leg and stretch the far leg out in front of us. From there, we'll flip our grip, hold on behind that thigh, stretching our leg up to the ceiling, maybe giving it a little point and flex through the foot. We'll hold it there. We're going to point those toes to the ceiling. That knee can be bent. That's okay. We're going to draw our belly down toward our spine a little more and take our arms to the ceiling. Drop your blades down, and with that belly drawn down to anchor you, we're going to hover that straight leg up off the floor and then control it back down with the mat. Lift and lower, very small range. If you put your hands on those pointers of your hips, they shouldn't be moving. That pelvis should be nice and still as your leg moves. Maybe we hover that foot up off the floor. Maybe we keep it down, but we're going to take our arms back. Bring them all the way back, far as you can behind your body. Maybe they touch the floor. Drop your mid back down. We'll take them back and forth through a range that's working for you. And we could have our knees bent. We could have a foot on the floor. We could even bend that supporting leg for a little more support. We're going to take our arms back to the ceiling, and that leg that's reaching up tall is going to go side to side. Locate those bones on the back of the pelvis and try to keep them anchored nice and firmly into the mat. Again, that foot doesn't have to be hovered up off the floor. It just adds a little extra. Maybe we make some circles on the ceiling with that moving leg. If your knee's bent, those circles just get stirred from a little smaller lever. And let's circle the other way. Here's 4, and 3, and 2, and 1. Take that leg to the ceiling. We'll pull it into the chest. Let's switch them up. We'll draw that other knee in, stretch that leg out straight, flip our grip, take that opposite leg to the ceiling, and we can flex and point. Good. Again, we're finding the range that works for you. A little knee bend is okay. Toes are pointed. We draw that belly down. Let's take our arms to the ceiling, anchoring our shoulders to the floor. With the belly down, we hover that lower leg and lower it down. Lift and lower. Try to get the sensation that you're using those lower abdominals to help you lift that leg. Lift. Maybe we hold it, maybe we lower. We'll arc those arms back and forth, keeping that mid-back nice and anchored into the floor. Back and forth. Let's do 2 more here. We'll bring it back one more time. And the arms come to the ceiling. Now we'll take that leg we've been stretching and move it side to side. Again, keeping that pelvis nice and still. Feel free to put that foot down. Feel free to give yourself a bit of a kickstand or a shorter lever if you need to do so. And we'll make some circles with that leg. Stretch it up to the ceiling. Let's circle the other way here for 4, and 3, 2, 1. Let's hold it up there. We're going to bring our supporting leg back to the floor. We'll hold on behind that leg we've been stretching, maybe at the calf, maybe at the knee, maybe with the bent leg. Hold it there. We're going to roll our shoulders down with the belly down. Maybe we nod and lift the head, and we'll move to our single straight leg stretch. Other leg comes up to meet that leg that's reaching up, and we lower that leg down. Moving through again at your own speed. Moving in a range that works. Maybe we take a little double pulse up at the top for a little more stretch. Those knees could be bent. That head could be down. Either way, that chin's nodded toward the neck, the belly's drawn down toward the spine, and we'll do one more stretch to each side before pulling the knees in, bringing that upper body down if it's been up, and gently rocking side to side. Giving ourselves a break. Everyone's working hard. I'm starting to sweat a little bit. We'll come right back to the middle. Let's roll those shoulders back and down. And we're going to bring our knees back up to that original tabletop position. We're holding onto the kneecaps to give ourselves a little support. We're going to draw the belly down while keeping hold of the kneecaps. And then let's take our hands down by the sides. We'll straighten the legs up to the ceiling. Again, find that barrier. Maybe your knees are a little bent. We're going to move both legs side to side together. Move them toward the screen and away. It's okay if the bones in the back of your pelvis lift up from the floor as we roll side to side. One side could lift a bit as you roll to the other side. Maybe we make it more challenging by taking those arms to the ceiling. If that's too much of a lever, bend your knees. If you do need more support, those arms come down by your sides. Either way, let's make some clockwise circles, moving those legs together. We could take them out in front of the body a little bit more for a bigger challenge, opening up through that trunk hip angle. Circle the other way. 3, 2, 1. We'll take them back up toward the ceiling, circle them in opposite directions of each other. If your knees are bent, it's almost going to feel like a little breaststroke kick. Pause at the top, inhaling, exhaling. Let's circle the other way. Here's 4, and 3, 2, 1. Let's bend those knees back to tabletop. Big breath in. Draw those bellies down, the shoulder blades down as we exhale, and we're going to flex our feet. If you do need a breather, feel free to grab onto those knees. Take a couple breaths here before resetting those abdominals. We're going to exhale, take those heels to the floor. Inhale, lift them back up to the ceiling. Exhale, lower. Inhale, lift. We can build on this one by adding our arms. Arms back as the feet come forward. Inhale to the ceiling. Keep that pattern going. If you need to take a step back, one foot comes down at a time. Keeping it going, we could build on this if you wanted to straighten your legs to the ceiling. As we exhale, legs come forward, arms come back. Inhale to the ceiling. We're going to do 2 more wherever you are. Exhale, open. Inhale to the ceiling. Last one here. Exhale, open. Inhale to the ceiling. Let's pull both knees in, and one last time, we'll rock them side to side before we move on to our next task. All right, coming back to the middle, let's take a few breaths, rolling those shoulders back. Maybe wiggle your body out a little. We'll take our hands down to the mat. We're going to take our feet down to the floor. Heels lined up with the sit bones and the toes facing directly forward. Knees, hips, and toes are approximately the same distance apart from each other. We're going to take a big breath in, draw the belly down on our exhale. Let's press our heels into the floor, unweighting those glutes. Squeeze our bottoms coming up into bridge. Feel the length as those kneecaps reach toward the wall in front of you, and we'll bridge ourselves down. Up and down at your own speed, pressing through your heels. You want to keep your whole foot on the floor, but if you can focus the pressure through your heels as you push downward, you're more likely to get those glutes working and less likely to feel a cramp in your hamstrings. We're going to do 2 more here. Lowering down. We'll hold that second one up in our bridge. Hold it there. We're going to pulse, lifting those glutes about an inch higher for 8, 7, 6. Press those heels. 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Big breath into the top. Exhale, bridge it down. We'll reset at the bottom, drawing the navel to spine on our next breath out. We'll bridge up to the top. Hold it there. Now we're going to press our arms into the mat and go up and down on our toes. Lift the heels, lower the heels. Establish that pattern. We could do 1 at a time if 2 is a little too much. What I want you to think about now is keeping those glutes lifted. Wherever they start in your bridge with a flat foot, you're going to keep them there. Keep them lifted even as those toes come up and down. Last 2. Lower. Last 1. Lower those heels. Lift your glutes half an inch higher. Big breath in. Exhale, bridging down. At the bottom with the, and on that exhale, belly drops to the side. We bridge up one more time. Holding that bridge. We're going to take that leg closest to the screen. We're going to take that knee out to the side. Nothing else moves. Foot stays flat on the floor if we can. We'll bring it back to the center. And that leg farthest from your screen. Take that knee out to the side. Take it back to the middle. Alternate through at your own speed. Biggest goal here is to keep that pelvis nice and still as your leg moves. Secondary goal here would be to keep your big toes pressed into the floor, even as that knee moves. You're going to be using your glute a lot more if you keep your foot flat versus letting yourself roll to the outside of that ankle. One more time, we'll take that knee out to the side, bring it back to the center, big breath in, exhale, bridging down. Let's go ahead and rock our knees side to side a few times. Give those glutes a breather. Give those hamstrings a rest if you've had any cramps in them. If you have, maybe pull your knee into your chest a few times, straighten out that leg. We'll take ourselves back to the middle. We have 2 more exercises here through the bridging series. We'll take an inhale. On the exhale, we're going to bridge back up. And at the height of our motion, we're going to start with rotation. We'll take one hip and lower it toward the floor while the other stays still. We'll lift it up, switch it out. Opposite side comes down and up. Let's move side to side here at your own speed for a couple more. And then we can stay here where we can move on to bridging, where the pelvis stays still and a knee comes up and down. Let's keep that one going. Maybe thinking about adding to it by extending that knee, reaching your foot toward the ceiling. Try to keep those shoulder blades pressed down to the floor. Try to keep those glutes lifted. Maybe we add a leg lowering and a leg lift to our bridge. We have 2 more at whatever level you've chosen. Last one on each side. When you finished your second repetition of your version, we'll take that second foot down to the floor. Take a big breath in, pressing your heels down, and exhale, lowering back down to the mat. Let's draw those knees in. We'll rock everything side to side. Pull those knees in one more time, rolling the shoulders back. We'll take our feet to the floor again. And we're going to cross one foot over to the opposite knee for our last in the series, single leg bridges. We have 5 on each side. Inhale, belly to spine as we exhale. We're going to press that heel into the floor. Lift that bottom up to the ceiling. Maybe we come to tabletop. Maybe we keep our heel down on that knee for a little support. And we'll lower and lift for 5, 4. Maybe we straighten that knee, bringing the feet to the ceiling. Here's 3. Here's 2. You are also welcome to do double leg bridges. And lift. Lower it down. We'll take that second leg to the floor. We'll cross our heel to our opposite knee. Big breath in. Exhale, belly to spine. Press through that heel. Lift up into our single leg bridge. Find your foot position, and we'll lower and lift. Here's 4. Here's 3. Here's 2. Here's 1. Let's lower it down. Cross one leg over the other. Pull them into your chest. Give them a little stretch. We can rock side to side. Let's take a couple breaths here before we unwind and switch to our other side. Fill the lungs with air. Breathe it all out. All right, come into the center. We'll unwind. Cross the other one over. Pull those knees into your chest. Again, we can rock side to side, getting into those deeper muscles. Take them back to the middle. We'll unwind. We're going to straighten our legs out. Take those arms to the ceiling. And we're going to start moving our shoulder blades up to the ceiling, down to the floor. Keeping that chin nodded towards your neck. We'll anchor our blades down. Take those arms back as far as you can. If your thumbs touch the floor, lift them up just a couple inches. Hover them up there. We're going to now draw the chin down toward the neck. Take that breastbone, let it drop toward the floor, anchoring your middle back down. Drop those lowest ribs toward the mat and slightly down in toward each other. The belly draws down. We're going to hold this here as we move our legs. We're going to lift one foot up and down. And as it comes down, we press into the floor and lift the other. Keep those legs moving. As one lifts, be sure to press down with the opposites. We're working on pelvic stability here. If you had something balanced on that navel, you wouldn't want to lose it to either side as you switch your leg positions. We're going to start bringing our hands to the ceiling, keeping those legs moving. Last time, let's take a big breath in. Breathing out. We're going to go ahead and roll over and face the mat, belly down. All right. So we're going to rest here. We're going to bring our arms bent by out the elbows. Shoulders and hands are going to be right next to each other. Our hands are going to be right underneath those shoulders. So we're going to press our forearms into the mat. Forehead's resting on the floor. We're going to take a big breath in. On that exhale, draw your belly up and away from the mat. It's fine if your skin touches. Just keep those lower abdominals doing some work. From here, with the forehead down, we're going to squeeze our bottoms, lift those feet up off the floor. See if you can maintain that navel to spine contraction. Maybe we add and build on this by floating your forehead up off the floor. Those lowest ribs will stay on the mat. The breastbone, part of your breastbone is still resting on the mat here. Maybe we pull our hands down, almost like we're going to drag ourselves forward on our mat. That'll lift that breastbone up just a little. We're going to hold this here. Okay? We have a couple options here. We can move to a little flutter kick, or instead of a flutter kick, we can slow it legs together. Lower the tops of the toes to the floor, feet lift up. Lower, lift, lower, lift. Or we're flutter kicking. We're going to do 3 more here. Maybe we build on this by lifting our hands up by our sides so the forearms are up off the floor. All right, we're going to lift the feet up and hold them there. We're going to move to heel clicks. We're going to click our heels together. 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. We're going to bring our feet together and bring the tops of the feet down toward the mat again. And now from here, we're going to take our arms down by our sides with the palms facing the floor. That belly stays drawn in. We're going to pulse the back of the hands up toward the ceiling as we squeeze our blades. Pulse here, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Breathe it in. On that exhale, we'll take our hands to the mat, and we're going to push ourselves up to hands and knees for a couple cats and cows. Curling and arching. Find a range that works. We're going to be on our knees for a bit of time, so if you want to take that rolled towel that you have with you and place it under your knees for a little padding, now is a good time for that. You could also double up the edges of your mat if you wanted to curl and give yourself a little more padding as well. Coming back to the center, we're going to draw our shoulder blades together behind the back and then press them forward toward the floor. Squeeze them together, press them apart. Let's keep that going. If this is easy for you, you're welcome to move out toward a plank position. This could be plank on the knees with the knees slightly behind those hips. This could be a full plank, squeezing and pressing in your push-up position. Wherever you are, we're going to do 4 more. Here's 4. Here's 3. Here's 2. Here's 1. We'll take those knees back down if they've been up, and we'll shift our weight side to side, just unloading those wrists a little bit. We'll make our way back to straight up hands and knees. And then from here, if we want to move on, we can take a hand to our thigh. We're going to keep our shoulders level and push up and down, squeezing that shoulder blade together toward your midline, and then pressing the blade toward the floor. Squeeze back toward the spine, press toward the floor, squeeze and press. Keep this going. Again, if you wanted to build on this, you are welcome to come to a plank position. Squeezing and pressing, squeezing and pressing. We'll do 2 more, whether you're on hands and knees or in plank, and then we'll switch our sides. Again, down on hands and knees, hand comes to your thigh, we squeeze and press. If you're in your plank, that hand comes to your thigh once you're situated, and we squeeze and press. Here's 3, here's 2, here's 1. Hand comes down, knees come back down. We're gonna push back toward child's pose, get our hands off the weight bearing position. Shake your wrists out a little bit if you need to. And we'll make our way back up to hands and knees. And now we're going to come down to all 4s on the forearms. If having your head below your bottom gets you dizzy or doesn't feel good, feel free to come back right up to our normal hands and knees position. Otherwise, down on the forearms, we're going to take one leg and stretch it back behind the body. We'll lift it up, line it up with your trunk as best you can. We'll take it side to side, stretch it out and away, and back across midline. Out and in. We want to keep that belly gently pulled in. Keep the weight evenly distributed if you can between your 2 forearms. We'll stretch that leg back to the middle. We're going to bend our knee, flexing the foot to help keep the hamstring from cramping. And we're going to straighten the knee, bend the knee. Keep that thigh right where it is. Straighten and bend. 2 more here. Last one. Bend that knee, and we're going to lower it. And we're going to lift. Lower, lift. Last 2. Last 1. Lift and pulse. 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Take that knee back down and we'll switch it up. Opposite leg comes back behind the body. If you need to reset your position, go ahead and do so, getting those forearms even. And we'll take that straight leg and lift it up, control it down. Lift and lower. 2 more here. Hold that last one, and we'll take that leg out to the side, back to the center. And keep that going. Last 2. Last 1. Bend that knee, flex your foot, straighten the leg. Bend, straighten. Last 2. Last 1. Hold it there. We'll control that knee down. Press it up to the ceiling. Lower and lift. Last 2. Last 1. Press and pulse for 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Take it back down. From here, we're going to push our bottoms back, stretch those arms forward, hold it there. The arm that's farthest from your screen is going to reach through. We're going to reach it toward that screen. Maybe we drop that shoulder on the side that you're reaching through. Drop that shoulder down toward the floor. Take a big breath. As we breathe out, we'll unfold it, stretch that arm back in front, take a big breath in again. Exhaling, we'll reach that opposite arm through toward the wall, dropping that shoulder. Find a comfortable range to move within. If it doesn't feel great to stretch that arm through, feel free to leave it in front. Otherwise, we're going to take one more big breath here. We'll exhale, bringing that arm forward. We're going to come forward on the forearms again, and we're going to come back into plank, forearm plank, or forearm plank on the knees. So we could be up on the knees with that belly drawn in, or we could curl our toes under, pop up into that forearm plank, and we're going to shift the weight from side to side, whether the knees are down or up. For 4, 3, 2, 1. Let's take them back to the center. We have one more thing here before we move on. One knee comes down and up. The other comes down and up. If we're starting with our knees down, one knee straightens while the other one stays down. Then we bring the knee down and we alternate. We have 3 more to each side. Here's 1 and 1. Here's 2 and 2. Last time, here's 3 and 3. Both knees come down. We're going to bring ourselves back up to hands and knees for one more set of cat and cow. We'll take it back to neutral. Wag that tail side to side. Take it back to the middle. And we're going to come up into long sitting with the feet facing the front of your mat. Legs out in a narrow V. The feet are going to be no wider than your mat here. Flex your feet if you can. Bend up those knees if you need to get right up tall on the sit bones. And we're going to line up our arms with our legs, thumbs facing the ceiling. From here, moving from those hip joints, we're going to hinge, bringing the hands toward the wall in front of you. And come up tall. Exhale, hinge. Inhale, up tall. We'll do 2 more here. Exhale, hinge. Inhale, up. Exhale, hinge and hold. And let's take our hands down to our legs. Maybe it's the feet, maybe it's the shins, maybe it's to the knees. We're going to hold them there. With that belly drawn in, let's bring our hands to the leg closest to your screen. Open that arm up. Maybe if there's a little more room, we open up and look over that shoulder. We'll take our hand back to the leg and sweep it through. Open the arm up, follow it with your head. Sweep it through. One more time to each side. Open. Bring it down and sweep. Open it up. Bring it back to the middle. We're going to come up nice and tall, rolling our shoulders back and down. And we're going to bend up our knees, lining our heels up with our sit bones. All right, let's go ahead and hold on right below those kneecaps, right at the top of the shins. We'll draw the belly back. We're going to do a couple cats and cows, moving from that pelvis. Upper back stays relatively still as we curl, tucking that tailbone under, and as we reverse that curve. Last 2. Last 1. Take it up. From here, we're going to flex our feet, angle ourselves back just till you feel those abdominals start to work. And we'll take our hands to the outsides of our knees. We're going to press our hands and our knees toward each other. Hold it there. Everything else stays still. That arm closest to the screen comes out. We look over that shoulder. We bring that hand back, press the knee and hand toward each other. Opposite arm opens up. Follow it to the side. Open and center. Open and center. One more time to each. Open and center. Last time. Open, center. Come up nice and tall. We're going to take our feet to the floor, hands back behind the body. Find a fingertip position that works for you. Your hands can be facing with those fingertips pointing towards your buttocks or out to the sides. You decide what feels better on your wrists. We're going to straighten our elbows as best we can. We're going to inch those buttocks forward. If you have a little more slack in the system, you can keep your elbows straight. We're going to squeeze our blades together and send the breastbone toward the front of the room where the wall and the ceiling meet. Hold it there. Take some deep breaths in and out. Feel your chest expand as you inhale. Drop your shoulder blades down as you exhale. Maybe we build on this by lifting into that reverse tabletop position. Maybe we keep the buttocks on the floor. That's your choice. We take 3 deep breaths wherever you are. Inhale. Breathe it out. Big breath in. Exhale, shoulders away from the ears. Last time, big breath in. Exhale, we're gonna slowly lower our bottom down, pushing through the heels of the hands if that buttoc's been lifted. And we're gonna come up, turn to face the screen, either sitting on your bottoms with those legs crossed or on a little cushion if you needed something to get your bottom a little higher. We can roll those shoulders out, roll your wrists out, roll your elbows out a little, whatever we need to do to de-stress them from doing some hard work and weight bearing. Tip an ear to a shoulder, other ear to the other shoulder. Take it back to the middle. We'll bring our arms out to the sides. From here, get the sensation that you're lifting your ribs up off of your pelvis. Now we're going to take a tall side bend. Adding some leverage if you want by taking that arm up and over. Take it up to the center. We'll breathe it out to the other side. Arm comes down, reach that other one over. Inhale, lift. Exhale, side bend. One more time, up and over. Little side bend. Let's come up nice and tall. We'll roll those shoulders back for 4, 3, 2, and 1. Arms come up on a T with the palms facing forward. Let's squeeze those blades. We're going to pulse them back here for 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Big breath in. Exhale down. And we're going to come into a side sit position. Both knees are going to come to one side with your feet off to the other. You can grab onto your ankles if you want. We're going to take our top hand to the top foot. We're going to keep that arm that's on the floor stretched out. Picture jazz hands. That jazz hand's going to go to the floor with a straight elbow. And we're going to press the heel of that hand away from your hip. So your ribs come away from the heel of the hand there. Top arm comes out on top of your bottom leg. Maybe we straighten out that top leg. Gives you a little more room to move. That toe could be facing the ceiling. We're going to hold this here, keeping that pressure through the heel of that hand. We're going to arc the other hand up and over and up and back. Keep that pattern going. We can build on this by keeping that supporting shoulder down, lifting the side body up into a little side plank, and then controlling it down. Lift and lower. If it feels better to you to be on your forearm, you are welcome to be on your forearm. You will not take it up as high, but that's okay. Lift it up and lower. One more time. Press it up. Take it down. And we're going to switch our sides. We'll come to the other side sit. Again, line up your jazz hand with your pelvis. Top hand on top of that top foot. We'll press the heel of the hand away from your body, letting your ribs move away from your arm. That top leg can extend, and we'll bring our arm out to the side, and that free arm comes up and over, up and back. Keep pressing the heel of the hand into the floor. One more time here, up and over, up and back. You're welcome to add that side body lift, moving down to the forearm if that feels better. Control it down. We're going to do 2 more here. Lift and lower. Last time lift. Last time lower. Let's come back to cross-legged sitting. Shake those wrists up just a little bit. Rolling those shoulders back and down. Nice work. All right, arms out to the side. We'll take one more side bend. Up tall. One more side bend to the other side. Come up tall. And we're going to go ahead and lie down on our side, facing your screen. And we're going to keep our knees bent, heels lined up with our sit bones. Top hand's going to press down into the floor. With the feet down, we're going to lift both knees up to the ceiling, down to the floor. Lift and lower. Last one. Knees down, feet come up. Top knee comes up and down. 2 more. Knees and feet come down. We're going to straighten both legs out. We're going to take both of them up and down together for 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2. Hold them up there. Flutter kick those legs. 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Hold them up there. Keeping your bottom leg lifted. Top leg pulses. 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Take that top leg down. Take them both down, bend up your knees, we'll pat that hip out, and we'll take ourselves up and over to the other side. Quick series on our sides today because we did a little bit more focus on some other things. We'll go ahead and lie down. Rest your head on those hands. Top hand presses into the floor. Knees are bent with the feet down. We'll lift those knees for 4, 3, 2, and 1. Knees come down, feet lift up. Top knee presses up and down for 4, 3, 2, 1. Knees and feet come down, straighten those legs out. Top leg comes up, bottom leg comes to meet it. We'll take them both down and up for 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2. Hold them up there. Flutter kick your legs. 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Hold them up there. Top leg lifts. Pulse it. 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Bring it down to the bottom leg. Take them both down. Bend those knees. Pat out your hips. Nice work. Thank you for rolling with some changes we've done today. Let's turn onto our back. Knees are going to stay bent. Heels are lined up with your sit bones. We'll bring our feet and knees together. And let's gently rock side to side with those knees. We'll let those knees move the whole lower half of your body. Maybe we lift your buttocks up on one side as we rotate the other way. All right, let's take those knees back to the ceiling. We'll cross one leg over the other. Pull them into your chest. Give them a little hug. And we'll rock that body side to side. Hip opener muscles. Let's go ahead and unwind. Cross that leg over, pull them both in. Take them side to side if that feels good. One more breath. All right, coming back to the center, we'll unwind those legs, pull those knees in. Let's take them down to the floor. We're gonna go ahead and turn over to hands and knees. Let's do one final set of cats and cows. Here's 3. Here's 2. Here's 1. Take it back to the center. We're going to press those blades toward the floor. We're going to come up to our down dog, maybe through plank. Maybe we add a little push-up in if you want. Tailbones come to the ceiling. Elbows and ears line up, and we're going to pedal our feet out. Drop one. Lift it up and drop the other heel. And let's keep going back and forth a couple more times. Take a few deep breaths. Recenter. Drop your heels down. Big breath in. On that exhale, we're going to walk our feet toward our hands. We'll make our way up to standing nice and slow, nice and controlled. And we're upright. Let's go ahead and face our screens. Take a second to get your bearings. Sometimes it does take a second. All right. And when you're there, when you're upright and ready, we're going to line up our heels with our hips again. We're going to stand up nice and tall, centering ourselves right over the front of those ankle joints. We're going to picture that string in the crown of our head, pulling our head gently up toward the ceiling, letting the neck come up off of your upper back, letting your rib cage float up off your pelvis, letting your pelvis float up and give you some space so you can be really light on your feet with the heels and the balls of the feet, pinky toe and big toe taking up that weight. We're going to soften up our knees a little bit. Take our hands right to our waistlines. We're going to maybe take those thumbs and poke them right into the sides of the boots so you can feel yourself working. The fingertips are going to be right on the pointers in the front of your hips. And with soft knees, we're going to shift the weight from side to side. Feel your glutes turn on and off as you come toward one foot and away. You'll feel the muscle poke it into your hand. We're going to shift our weight all the way to one side. Straighten up those legs. We're going to lift one foot up. We're going to balance on one foot. Hold it there. If you need to hold on to something, feel free to go find something to hold on to that works for you. Hands can now be wherever you want them. We're going to shift the weight toward the ball of the foot. Rise up and down. I know we didn't do our heel toe standing today. That's something you can practice on your own, maybe later when you're brushing your teeth. One more time. Lift and lower. We're going to take that foot down, shake out your legs a little, and we'll shift our weight over to the other side. Feel that glute kicking into your hands, stand up nice and tall. We'll rise up into our single leg balance on that second side. We could shift the weight forward, hands go where you're comfortable, and we take it up and down. And it does make it easier to come up and down if you think about where your weight should be. If you shift your weight towards your toes, it's less challenging to rise up onto those toes. You'll be using your same muscle to do it. It just works a little more efficiently when you're doing it toward the front of your foot. All right, we're going to go ahead and take our feet down, shake those legs out a little bit. Let's bring those feet shoulder width apart. We're going to roll the shoulders back. We're going to tip the ears side to side. We'll come straight back to the center. Let's take our hands behind our backs and just squeeze those blades together. Inhale and exhale. Let those arms drop. We'll take a big breath in, reaching them up. Clasp those palms, reach into the ceiling as we drop our blades down. And let's take a few tall side bends, reaching to the corner of the room. Inhale into the center and exhale into the opposite corner. One more time to each side, reach up and to the corner and up and to the other corner. All right, hands come to the ceiling. Let's bring our arms down and our feet together. We'll take one more big breath in. We made it. Palms come to center. I hope everybody has a really wonderful rest of your day, whatever you're doing. And again, if you have any feedback, questions, comments, areas you'd like to focus on, please feel free to send me an email. It's Rachel, R-A-C-H-E-L, @agilept.com. And again, thanks so much for coming, and I hope to see you all again soon. Have a wonderful time.